Here we are. The end of the year, it's time for that moment. The prestigious, completely not subjective Board Game of the Year award presented by yours truly, Mike. This is Board Games for One. Howdy and welcome back. I'm glad to have you. Of course this is subjective. Oh my goodness, it's my first Game of the Year award. So who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? I don't know. What are the criteria? I don't know. Let's make it up as we go. Whatever. You have ideas? Put them in the comments. The Game of the Year award should go to Nemesis Lockdown. Nemesis Lockdown. If you want a cinematic, thematic experience and you're just gonna die over and over and over and over as you run through this facility, scary aliens trying to kill you, you're trying to survive and either help others or betray them, I don't know. But you know what? It didn't win Game of the Year award. You know why? Even though it should. It actually should, because I played it so much. Hope it doesn't catch on fire. That's not the one game that I would grab. So there it is. That's my criteria this year. And as I'm saying this, I'm realizing, you know what? We need categories. We need categories for different types of games because we're going to end up picking one type, whatever. You know what it should be? It should be Explorers. This absolutely surprised me. Delightful little map-making game. They're cartographers, but you're on little whiteboards and you're going for keys and treasures and all this stuff. I love this game. I will play it with anyone. I love it, but you know what? If there was a fire, that's not the one game I would run for. There's not enough to it. There's enough to it for what it is, but let's not waste time. You know what should be? Unsettled. Oh my goodness, if you saw any of my plays or reviews. By the way, there's information about all these games on this channel if you want to learn more. All from this year, I hope. I'm really bad with time. All right, Unsettled. Wow. Humorous exploration, you're gonna die. Maybe not cooperative, but for solo play, it's too much of a brain burner. For me, some people can handle controlling two hands. It's listed as a 2 to plus whatever. It's not listed as one player game. There's a reason for that. Can you play it solo? Yes. Do many do it? Yes. Do they love it? Yes. You know what should? This handy little pandemic reskin. It's more than a reskin though. Star Wars, The Clone Wars. What a delightful little surprise this was. Traveling across, fighting against the four different villains, each one a little different. Nice entry level, but you know what? There's just not enough to the game. There's enough to the game for many plays to have fun. It's a nice light to medium weight, but no, Game of the Year, I can't give you Game of Final Girl. I will bet you almost every, maybe that's an exaggeration, solo gamer would put Final Girl as the Game of the Year for solo games. But do you know what? It can't do the horror theme. It's too much for me. So no, you don't make it. That's why I only have the base box. That's all I have anymore is the core box. Canvas. Now this is a work of art. You can literally hang it on your wall. You're creating little paintings for your gallery. Clever, high-quality components, plays beautifully multiplayer, but I haven't played it enough solo. It's not going to win Game of the Year, no. On Mars Expansion. It fixes the solo mode for On Mars. And for that, I don't think it can get Game of the Year because it has 4 modes, and only one of them is truly solo. The others are, or maybe it's 3 modes, 4 modes, whatever, but they're cooperative. I think it's 4. Pretty sure. It's cooperative, and it's pretty difficult to do double-handed. So solo mode's wonderful. If this was On Mars plus this in one box, it would win Game of the Year, actually. It would, but nope. On Mars is old news. That's new news. But do you know what came out in a nice reprint this year that absolutely deserves Game of the Year? Obsession. The second or third printing, I don't know. It was a new printing this year. Little minor things that the designer wanted to fix. Pride and Prejudice in Victorian England, a Euro where you're trying to win the love of the Fairchild children. Plays wonderfully solo. Simple, yeah, it's beat your own score, but it's done well. This should win Game of the Year. And I'm going to regret it, but it doesn't. And I don't know why. I don't know. You know what should win Game of the Year? It's Batman. The Dark Knight Returns, the game. And I'll get probably just totally slammed for this because there are people apparently that just think it's a terrible game. I don't care. I love it. You can see my play, all of it, my review. I find this a fantastic game. I'll play over and over and over. 3 separate missions. They're all replayable. Yeah, the save system's tedious, but whatever. As far as a comic book combat game, I will take this one any day. But there's not enough to, again, this is why we need categories. Because I'm going to end up with a campaign game, aren't I? That's what I'm going to end up with. What am I going to grab not if I catch on fire. If my place catches on fire, what am I going to grab? We need categories next time. But I don't have them you know what? Cape May, I love this game. I love this game, multiplayer game. You are building up a little town. You're building up real estate, plastic figurines. Don't love the colors of the figurines, honestly, because the board is so beautiful. But it is good multiplayer. It's good solo. But is there enough? Is there enough to make it Game of the Year? What makes Game of the Year? Help me out. Help me with this. How do people do this? Other than, what's the one game I'm going to get if the building's on fire? That's all I got. You know what? Wrath of the Lich King. World of Warcraft. You know what? I actually prefer this over the Clone Wars. Did it come out this year? Probably not. It was probably last year. But whatever. It's new to me. My goodness, it's a pandemic system game. Different theme, but it plays unique. It has unique mechanics just to this game. Asymmetrical abilities. You go through the dungeons and all that. You're putting out fires. Not enough to make you Game of the Year, though. I'm sorry. You're good. But you know what was epic this year? You know what was epic? Castles of Mad King Ludwig. My goodness. Royal Edition and Colossal Edition. This is delightful. You are building a beautiful palace by purchasing different room tiles, putting them together. It's tile placement. You're creating your palace. You get different points for how well your palace is laid out. You get rewarded for it making sense, basically. But you know what? The solo mode, if you watched any of my review or playthrough or whatever of it, the solo mode, it needs some work. All right? It's good enough, but not good enough to buy it just for that. Because the solo mode isn't built out enough, I'm sorry. Game of the Year is the game that I laid out on my table. I laid it out and it sat there for over a month and I played it every day. And every day I was excited to go back. Every day I wanted to see what is in this next mystery. What am I going to be exploring next? How can I clean out this deck so I have just what I want? How can I get through this story? What's the ending? What am I going to find out? What's the connection between this game and ISS Vanguard? I am going to get brutally attacked for picking this. Where are you? Oh, I didn't even get it out. Let me get it. All right, I got it. Don't worry. First, I'm going to tell you what the Game of the Year is, and then I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't buy it. Either Fields. Either Fields has allowed me to explore just with complete freedom. I can explore dream worlds. I can explore the overworld and then go into smaller dreams and explore there and find different mysteries and fail and run into these scary nightmare creatures that are chasing me, make them go away, and they come back. And all the time I'm trying to solve the mystery of why on earth are my characters trapped in this dream world, and what does it have to do with ISS Vanguard? Because it does have something to do with it. And I haven't finished it yet, but you know why you should not get this game. One, because it released in what you could call broken state. If you buy this, you are going to have to download the updated manual. The manual was fine, but it was a little too difficult, and some people didn't like it, so they made it a little more accessible. Also, it has new world map titles that you have to print out and use. There's only 8 of them, whatever, but it's an extra thing that you have to do because they pushed out a game that some felt was a little too challenging or too tedious challenging. Tedious is the better word. People that love this love it with a passion. People that hate it with a passion. I recommend being somewhere in between. This, for me, is Game of the Year. If there's a fire, this is what I'm going to grab. If you cannot lay a game out and leave it out all week and come and go and play it solo as you like and then have a friend pop in and play 2-player for 1 round and then they pop out and you go back to solo, no problem, adjustable difficulty. If you can do that and you like exploration and a little lighter on the combat, deck building, they could have gone more with it, but there's some deck building that I enjoy. But it's all about exploration and wonder. And a campaign with a nice big fat book with a big fat story that I can't wait to keep going through. But if you cannot lay a game out and leave it out for a week, because I would not want to take this out and put it back and take it out and put it back every day because it's a table hog. If you can't do that, don't even look at this. If you can, maybe you would like it. Maybe you wouldn't. I'm telling you, don't buy it. But it's my game of the year. And that's that. What are we going to get next year? I don't know. Thank you for tuning into this surprise video nonsense. If you want to hear more about either fields or see it, let me know. I'll make a video, whatever. Next videos to come. Of course, the next one is how to play Bonnie and Clyde solo. And then after that is the Board Game Buyer's Guide for Board Game Buyer's Guide for 2023. I love you all. See you next time.